I can tell you one thing, this episode will definitely be faster than you can put anything from IKEA together. Let's get rolling. Welcome to another episode of FIC Film Review. I'm your host, Ganyan, with me, my partner, Naldo, who loves IKEA.
I do. I haven't been there in a while, but I like IKEA. What's going on, everybody? How's it going, man?
It's going well.
Yeah.
I have a soft spot for our movie for the folks today.
Okay. The year is 2009, and the movie is 500 Days of Summer, rated PG-13 with a run time of about an hour and 30 minutes, something like that. Have you seen it before?
I have, but
Okay.
it's been a long time. Probably watched it a lot after it came out in theaters, but not a lot since then.
Okay. Did you enjoy it when you saw it?
No. Well, I did.
Oh,
I did enjoy
okay.
it.
Yeah.
However, I felt it was melancholy.
Yeah.
Like it didn't, I enjoyed it, but I didn't like rush out to go see it again. I loved so much about it, but I don't know. It was a different time, 12 years ago, 13 years ago.
Agreed. I saw this too. Oh, wow, a long time ago. And I remember liking it. I don't
Hmm.
know what it was about it. I don't know if it was Tom or was Summer that bugged the hell out of me. But I'm glad I watched it. I got a different take on it this time around. So let's get into it. Okay, so the story is about Tom. Tom, who meets Summer, and I think Tom is a romantic. Actually, I know he's a romantic. He's a huge romantic. He works at
Hopeless romantic.
yeah, he works at a greeting card company and he makes greeting cards for people. But I think he just falls too hard for anybody he meets. That's my take. I just think he doesn't take his time. It's like he sees somebody and he just falls in love with them. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong.
It's interesting because when I watched this the first time in 2009, I felt like Tom.
Okay.
And fast forward, a decade, and I think this was a great display of how love seems in your 20s. You do tend to fall hard and fast for people without really getting to know them, without really hearing that, maybe the other person's not really exactly where you are
Yeah.
and that they don't want the same things, but you are so convinced that this is your person that you tend to maybe over romanticize those moments and overreact in a lot of others.
Yeah. Guys, guys can be so gullible. What's her name? Chloe Grace something is in this.
Yes,
What's
says his little sister. Yeah.
Yeah, and she has this line where he goes, "Man," and it kind of just it made me think about it. He goes, "Man, just because some pretty girls likes the same things you do doesn't mean you got to like fall in love with them." But that's how it happens, you know?
It's so
It's like you find somebody and you have everything in common with you, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is my soulmate," right? So,
yes.
uh,
And maybe that's why I have a soft spot for it. I felt like I was
yeah,
very much Tom throughout my 20s
okay,
and had that come to Jesus moment about, just because you have the same likes as someone doesn't make them your person.
yeah.
But you don't get that clarity until you're a little bit older and you've been maybe down the heartbreak road like Tom goes.
Yeah, that's true. Well, so okay, it's clear that Summer doesn't want anything serious. It's clear. It's crystal clear. She tells him that. She goes, "I
Many
don't want
times.
anything serious. I don't want anything serious." Okay, boom, there it is. Tom thinks he can change her, but Summer also kind of manipulates him, and like she just can't stop having these moments with him, and they're intimate moments, not just physically, but he's telling him stuff that she's never told anybody before. So it's kind of like you guys don't. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to place blame on either
Yeah,
party because Summer was
yeah,
very clear
yep,
and Tom is should be very aware, but yet,
right,
Summer is also enjoying the time that they spend together. And so yeah,
right.
they have these sweet moments where you start to think that like, okay, this could work out and this is going to work out, but they're quickly smashed by, I think, the cut scenes from day 1 to day
Yeah,
400 to day 100, and
which is really
it's
clever, by the way. I thought how they
and a
did
lot of
that
fun.
transition. Yeah,
Yeah, a lot
yeah,
of fun because you get to play with different moments, like, where basically they cut to like, the last 2 weeks have looked like this for Tom, and it's the same thing. It's like 7 o'clock, the alarm wakes up, and he's like
yeah,
going to the grocery store and getting, alcohol and just, you like play that over and over and over again for 3 days. And that's fun that you get to do that, where you get the happy moments like the "You Make My Dreams Come True" with the band and everyone dancing, and
I thought that was kind of cringy. I don't know.
really
I didn't like the home dance.
okay.
It reminded me of that scene in Spider-Man 3 when Tobey Maguire comes out dancing. I'm sorry, I didn't like that part.
There's a time and a place for a song and dance. In a romantic comedy, I'd say it belongs there. Maybe not in an action movie.
I guess, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. What'd you think of the IKEA trip?
So much fun, cute and uncomfortable, because they show two versions, of them doing the IKEA trip. But
Yeah.
I mean, it made me want to go to IKEA.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I miss IKEA.
I don't even need anything in the house. I just want to wander through there. It's
Just wonder, yeah.
read things that I can't pronounce.
The music in this was really good.
Yeah. So shout out to the director, Mark Webb. This was his first movie. He ends up going on, speaking of Spider-Man, to direct the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, which I think are grossly underrated. He was a music video director before this, though, so makes sense why he's really well curated, this soundtrack. And I'm sure he had musical supervisors and all these other people that help work on it. But that being said, like, guy has an ear for music, and it shows in this movie. And that's one of the things I really love about it, is the soundtrack is phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of kept me in was the music, the Smiths, and that Sweet Disposition song. It was really good. So I really enjoyed the music. But I think there's a lesson to be learned in this movie, and I think each one learns a lesson from each other. So it's not, I think Tom teaches Summer that, hey, love is there's, it's okay. You will find love. It just happened to be with somebody else, and it wasn't with him. When he finds out that she's engaged at that party that she invites him, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And when they sit on the bench together, and obviously, at this point she's probably married, but like, she's so comfortable in what became, her life, and Tom is still figuring it out, and you're just like, it's so gut-wrenching that she's so brutally honest, but it makes sense. And I felt for him so bad in that moment where, like, you're just wow, this person here is telling you that, like, look, I just didn't get
want it with you.
And you're like, oh, like, poor Tom, right before an interview, right? Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it also teaches Tom that maybe I shouldn't fall so hard for everybody that comes along, and maybe I should take my time and just back off a little bit and kind of enjoy the ride before jumping into it. I don't know,
Yeah.
So
lessons again. I think you learn when you're in your 20s and you're learning to be an adult and going through relationships. So I like it, and I appreciate it for that, or that young love feeling, and almost a season, if you will, of being with somebody and how you can grow from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, good take. That's a great take.
Thank you.
Wow, that was wonderful. Want to rate it? Let's rate it.
Let's rate it.
All right. Let's rate it.
You're going 5. First. 1 to 5. Let's do greeting cards.
Greeting cards.
Tom wrote so well.
Okay, greeting cards. 1 greeting card. Awful. 5 greeting cards. Just a wonderful, melancholy movie. That doesn't make sense. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go. I actually enjoyed it a little bit more this time around. I got frustrated with both characters, but I understood it, and I think each one taught each other something valuable in relationships and in love. So I love the music. I'm gonna go with the 3.5 on this one. 3.5. Okay. I enjoyed it. 3.5 is a good score. So
it's a great score.
Yeah, it's a good score. 3.5.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not. These aren't school grades. It's, I don't want to hear the 70%. Is an average movie. This is a good movie. I think it's done well. I appreciate that. Like, there's a timeless feel to it. Other than the music, which I think spans a little bit of generation time, but not much. Like, you can watch this movie and not go, oh my god, it's so dated. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit into like what romance looks like now. I appreciate both the characters so much because I feel like I've been on both sides of it. I love how emo this movie is. It's just so emo. And I appreciate that because, again, it makes me feel and remember how it was like to love and be in your 20s again. So maybe I'm just nostalgic to be young and in love again.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
All right.
I enjoy it. It's good paced movie. Love the music. Love the characters. Love the actors. Yeah.
4? Okay, that's a good movie. All right, good movie. 4, 3.5. Those are good scores, people. Relax.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Yeah.
Zoe and Joseph, fantastic. Zoe? Is it Zoe? Is it Zoe?
Zoe?
The extra O always throws me off in her name. So
Zoe. Yeah.
either way, you get to hear her sing, that's always great. I think she's lovely. So yeah,
Okay.
go watch 500 Days of Summer.
There you go. And think about your past relationships and what you did wrong. Because that's what it does.
Yes, find some clarity in your past relationships.
Yeah.
That's
go
what
find
we're here
some
for.
closure. All right. Cool.
Put that on a greeting card. That's been all we can say about 500 Days of Summer. We appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been FYC Film Review, and I'm your host, Gagne. With me, my partner, Naldo.
Have a good one, everybody. We'll talk to you guys later.